So this is an exercise dubbed the floor angel because it resembles a snow angel, like what you might have done as a kid or even as an adult when you lie in the snow and you wave your arms around to make an imprint in the snow that looks like an angel. Anyway, it's a nice position to place your body in so that you get a nice, gentle, even passive stretch in the upper chest and through the fronts of the shoulders. Um, the key here is to be able to elevate your upper chest, therefore your mid-spine, in such a way that you allow space for gravity to take a hold of those tissues. You can do this lying flat, of course, if you wanted, but you get more out of it if you can elevate your upper back. So for this, I am using a bolster. This is nice and firm. It's high enough to bring my shoulders up. If you just want to use some blankets or some pillows, I'm also doing this on the floor just for added support, but you could also do this in bed. And the key here is you want to get the edge of your bolster, your pillows, under your back, somewhere around the mid-back, and you might have to play with this positioning, but you don't want it so far down the back that when you lie back, your ribs pop up and your lower back is extremely arched. So you want to bring yourself a little bit down further so where your ribs sink in and your lower back can relax. And then I also have a bolster here for my head, because if you have a little bit of head forward posture, shall we say, and you put your head back, it might be too far back and then you're getting that extension in your neck. So I'm just going to prop my head up here a little. So this gets my upper chest a little higher than my arms once I place my hands on the floor. And so we do that with the hands face up. And this could be a very relaxing move just in itself. If you've been crouching over a computer or whatever it is that you're doing in a head forward, face down, internally arm rotated position for a while, this is just a nice way to allow the front part to open up and bring some ease to the tension in the neck and shoulders. And then by way of making a little more of an exercise, you could start bringing your arms up more overhead and just tracking it a little bit at a time, because if you have a lot of tension in your shoulders, like as I do, I'm already feeling this pull in here, and I do have an old injury in my shoulder, so it can start to get intense, and as that tension increases in the shoulders, you might find yourself tensing up or arching to pull away from the tension. So just toggle it, maybe an inch at a time. Notice if you can still relax, if you can let your arms really be heavy on the floor. Take some nice inhales and exhales. Again, just letting gravity open up the tissues of the front of the chest. Bringing it up a little more if there's allowance to do that. Maybe a little more. And noticing here too, things like, are you starting to bring your arms up off the floor to relieve the tension in the shoulders and the arms? Are you starting to arch your back? Are you starting to pinch your shoulder blades together? And at every point, you want to find that you can just let everything relax down into your floor or bed. And if it's too much, you can just bring it back down. In fact, let's bring it all the way back down just to reset. Come back to relaxation, back to being heavy into our bolster. And then we'll start again, bringing it up a little at a time. Also noting whether or not you're raising your shoulder blades. We want all of this movement to be happening at the shoulder joint. So the shoulder blades aren't creeping up towards the ears. All of the movement's happening at the shoulder joint with the upper arm. And you can keep them in slow motion if you like. Here's the angel part. Waving up and waving down. You can also use as a cue bringing your thumbs back towards the floor as you bring them up. And this will allow you to get a little bit higher, but still keeping contact with the floor. Ooh. I just felt an adjustment in my low back. That was fun. All right, and then again, just finding a point where you can just let your arms be still, let them hang open. If you're on a bed, if you're not, unless you're in the middle of the bed, you might find that you have even more distance here because your hand's hanging off the bed, and that's fine too. That's going to give you a little extra stretch, which may be good or not for you in your particular situation. And let's bring them back down. You can also have your palms facing forward and raising them up overhead, just being sure that as you're raising them, you're pulling your shoulder blades down so you're not, again, creeping the top of your shoulder up towards your ears. Pull your shoulder blades down and just moving through the shoulder joint. Noting that range, and again, checking to make sure you're not lifting the rib cage up off the floor, that your rib cage stays down. Lower back stays down. You might need to engage your abdominals here a little just to keep your ribs stable. And coming back. Let's come back down to the floor, backs to the hands or the thumbs on the floor. Floating up. And then floating down. You can just find a sort of a midway point that's kind of the sweet spot between feeling nothing and feeling a little bit of intensity. And just relaxing here for as long as you like. Take some nice in breaths and out breaths. Just being clear though when you are coming out of this pose, if you have been not doing this for a while or not doing it at all, to just notice how it's going to feel coming out of that stretch. Just come nice and slowly and get some movement back into your arms. All right. Hope you enjoyed that.